In the heart of the vast, ever-changing river system, a transformation begins each year when the seasons shift, bringing the annual flood. For the creatures living in these wetlands, the flood season is both a challenge and an opportunity, a test of survival that demands instinct, adaptation, and leadership. Among them, Golduck, the apex predator of the river, assumes a critical role that few understand fully, a silent leader guiding the migration of its group through the powerful, shifting currents. Golduck's territory spans the deep, fast-moving waters of the river, where swift currents and hidden obstacles create a challenging environment for both predator and prey. However, when the waters rise and the rivers overflow, Golduck's role becomes even more crucial. As the floodwaters spread, the natural landscape changes rapidly. Calm pools become fast-moving torrents, and familiar paths disappear under rising water levels. This is when Golduck steps up, not with force or vocal commands, but with quiet, instinctive leadership that directs the entire group to safety. Golduck's group, a mix of younger Psyduck and other aquatic creatures, looks to it for guidance. While others may panic, unsure of where to go, Golduck remains calm and steady, relying on its deep understanding of the environment. It has learned to read the river's currents, the subtle shifts in water pressure, and the temperature changes that signal the presence of more stable areas. Golduck knows that to survive, it must lead the group to these safer, higher ground zones, places where the water will not rise too quickly, where the current is not so strong, and where they can find food and shelter. The migration begins slowly at first, as the waters rise steadily, forcing Golduck to make its first move. Using its powerful legs and streamlined body, it cuts through the swift currents, its every movement purposeful and precise. As the group watches, Golduck leads the way, its sleek form cutting through the water effortlessly. The rest of the group follows instinctively, swimming in a loose formation, navigating the changing environment without words, without commands, just a shared understanding of what must be done. Golduck, as always, remains a few steps ahead, guiding the group to safer zones through a maze of fast-moving water, submerged obstacles, and rapidly shifting terrain. As the flood season intensifies, the water levels rise quickly, and the river's flow becomes even more treacherous. The once calm, shallow areas are now deep and turbulent, the currents carrying debris and submerged rocks. The group must move quickly, but also cautiously, as the risk of being swept away or trapped increases. Golduck, however, is unfazed. Its leadership is not based on fear or panic, but on a deep, inherent understanding of the water. It knows when to push forward, when to slow down, and when to find a moment of stillness to reassess the situation. The group follows Golduck's lead, moving through the turbulent waters with remarkable precision. Even though the flood season brings overwhelming changes, the group's instinctual trust in their leader allows them to navigate this crisis together. Golduck's calm, deliberate actions are mirrored in the group, and they move through the river system with a collective purpose. At times, Golduck pauses, surveying the surroundings, ensuring the group stays together, and making adjustments as needed. There are moments of struggle, moments when the current threatens to pull them off course, but Golduck's silent guidance keeps them on track. In these critical moments, Golduck's leadership shines through. The group may be unsure, but Golduck remains a constant, a figure of stability in the ever-changing landscape. Its role as a silent leader is not about issuing commands or taking charge through force. Rather, it's about knowing when to lead and when to allow the group to follow its own instincts. Golduck's leadership is quiet, yet powerful, relying on its deep understanding of the natural world and its ability to guide the group without disrupting the harmony of the ecosystem. Golduck's migration is not just about survival, it's about teaching the younger members of the group the ways of the river. By following Golduck's example, they learn how to navigate the floods, how to read the currents, and how to adapt to the changes in their environment. Golduck's silent leadership is a lesson in resilience, adaptability, and trust in the natural rhythms of life. This type of leadership can be observed in many species in the animal kingdom, in the same way that geese migrate together or elephants lead their herds through treacherous terrain. Golduck serves as a guide for its group through the floods. Like these animals, Golduck's leadership is built on experience, instinct, and a deep connection to its environment. It doesn't need to communicate with words or assert its dominance. Its actions speak louder than any command. The migration continues through the flood season, with Golduck leading its group through increasingly difficult conditions. As the floodwaters begin to recede, the group emerges onto higher ground, where the current slows and the water becomes calmer. They have survived the dangers of the flood season, thanks to Golduck's leadership. The group settles into this new environment, finding shelter among the trees and reeds, and once again, the waters are calm. Golduck, however, does not rest for long. Its instincts tell it that the river will continue to change, and it must remain vigilant. As the flood season gives way to calmer months, Golduck continues to patrol the area, keeping the group safe and ensuring that they are always prepared for the next challenge. The flood season may have passed, but the river will continue to shift and change, and Golduck's role as leader remains as important as ever. Golduck's silent leadership is a reminder of the power of instinct and experience in the animal kingdom. It is not about making loud declarations or asserting authority. It is about understanding the environment, reading the signs, and guiding others with quiet strength. Through the flood season, Golduck teaches the group the value of patience, trust, and resilience. It shows them that leadership is not always about being the loudest or the most dominant, but about being the one who leads with purpose, with calm, and with an unwavering connection to the world around them. As the seasons change and the river continues to flow, Golduck remains a constant, silently leading its group through the ever-shifting waters of the world. And in the process, it teaches us all a valuable lesson about leadership sometimes. The strongest leaders are the ones who speak the least, but whose actions speak the loudest.
Its sharp senses guide the group as it moves through unfamiliar territory.